In Christian iconography, there's an image that disturbs even the most devout. A serene young woman, dressed in white, holding a tray upon which rest two human eyes. Sometimes the eyes are on the tray, sometimes in her own hands, sometimes still in their sockets, while she holds others as an offering. This is Saint Lucy of Syracuse, a virgin martyr of the 4th century, patron saint of the blind, those suffering from eye diseases, and all who seek spiritual light. According to tradition, she plucked out her own eyes to avoid a forced marriage to a pagan who admired her beauty, especially her eyes. She sent them to him on a tray with a message: "If it is my eyes you desire, take them, but my soul belongs to Christ." The suitor, enraged, denounced her to the Roman authorities as a Christian. She was tortured, burned, and finally decapitated. But even without eyes, she saw with spiritual vision, or so the legend says. The historical truth is more complex, darker, and reveals how the Church transformed violence into virtue. Lucy was born in 283 AD in Syracuse, Sicily, then part of the Roman Empire. She was the daughter of a noble, wealthy family, Christian during a time of persecution. Her father died when she was a child, leaving her under the guardianship of her mother, Eutychia. Lucy, from a young age, consecrated herself to Christ, making a secret vow of perpetual virginity. But her mother, unaware of the vow, arranged a marriage with a wealthy young pagan. Lucy refused. Her mother insisted. Family tension grew. Then Eutychia fell gravely ill, suffering from a hemorrhage that doctors couldn't cure. Lucy convinced her mother to make a pilgrimage to the tomb of St. Agatha in Catania, a Sicilian martyr revered for miraculous cures. During prayer at the tomb, Lucy had a vision of St. Agatha, who told her that her faith would cure her mother, and that she herself would become the glory of Syracuse as Agatha was of Catania. Eutychia was instantly cured. Grateful for the miracle, Eutychia allowed Lucy to break off the engagement and distribute her dowry to the poor. Lucy sold jewels, properties, donating everything to needy Christians. The ex-fiancé, furious at losing both dowry and bride, denounced her to the Roman governor Paschasius as a practicing Christian, a capital crime under Diocletian. Lucy was arrested in 304 AD during the Great Persecution. Paschasius ordered her to sacrifice to the Roman gods. She refused. He threatened to send her to a brothel, a common fate for Christian virgins, a public violation to break their spirit. Lucy replied that a body violated against its will does not stain a pure soul. Enraged, Paschasius ordered guards to drag her to the brothel, but according to hagiographic accounts, the Holy Spirit made her immobile, heavy as a mountain. Not even oxen could move her. A miracle or extreme psychological resistance, she was not violated. Paschasius, humiliated, ordered her to be burned alive where she stood. Wood and oil were piled around her. Fire was lit, but the flames did not touch her, deflecting as if an invisible force protected her. Lucy remained unharmed, preaching to the spectators about Christ. Witnesses converted. Paschasius, desperate, ordered her to be decapitated. A sword pierced her neck, but she did not die immediately. She continued speaking, prophesying the end of the persecution and peace for the Church. Only when she finished her words did she expire. Her body was buried by Christians, and her tomb became a place of pilgrimage. Her relics were eventually transferred to Venice, where they remain in the Church of San Jeremiah. But where do the eyes come in? Older versions of Lucy's martyrdom do not mention ocular self-mutilation. This part was added centuries later, likely in the medieval period. The story varies. In some versions, she plucked out her eyes before her martyrdom to discourage a suitor who admired her beauty. In others, torturers tore out her eyes during interrogation, and they were miraculously restored before her death. In yet others, she offered her eyes voluntarily as a supreme sacrifice of detachment from the material world. The iconography of Lucy holding eyes on a tray first appeared in 14th century paintings, becoming standard in Renaissance and Baroque art. Artists depicted her with eyes on the tray and, paradoxically, perfectly intact eyes in her face, symbolizing that spiritual vision transcends the physical. Why did the Church add self-mutilation to an already brutal martyrdom story? Theologically, eyes represent the windows of the soul, a gateway to temptation. Jesus said, "If your eye causes you to stumble, pluck it out." Lucy literalized the metaphorical teaching. She removed the source of the suitor's carnal desire and simultaneously demonstrated total detachment from the body. For a medieval culture obsessed with mortification of the flesh, Lucy was a perfect model, a virgin who chose physical blindness to preserve spiritual purity. Her self-mutilation was not seen as horror, but as heroism. The more extreme the physical sacrifice, the greater the sanctity. Lucy surpassed even martyrs burned or crucified because she herself performed part of her torture. Psychologically, Lucy's story resonates because it touches a primal fear: loss of sight. Eyes are the most vulnerable, most precious organs. The idea of voluntarily plucking them out is viscerally disturbing. But for medieval believers, it was inspiring. If Lucy could sacrifice her eyes for Christ, they could endure lesser sufferings. Lucy became the patron saint of the blind, those suffering from eye diseases, and ophthalmologists. People with vision problems prayed to her, leaving ex votos in the form of silver or wax eyes in her shrines. The logic: one who sacrificed their own eyes understands the suffering of blindness and intercedes for healing. Artistic representations of Lucy range from serene to macabre. Renaissance paintings show her as a beautiful young woman, dressed in white or red, delicately holding a tray, eyes resting like jewels. Her expression is calm, even joyful, without a trace of pain. This normalizes horror, transforming self-mutilation into an aesthetic act. Baroque sculptures are more graphic: bleeding eyes, empty sockets, an expression of spiritual ecstasy mixed with physical agony. These works force the viewer to confront the real violence behind the sanctity. It's not a beautiful metaphor. It's flesh and blood. The Feast of St. Lucy is celebrated on December 13th, near the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. Symbolically, Lucy brings light to darkness, her name derived from lux, Latin for light. In Scandinavia, especially Sweden, St. Lucy's celebrations are major cultural events. Girls dress in white, wear crowns of lit candles, and sing hymns. It's a beautiful tradition, but disconnected from the original violence. Lucy has been transformed from a tortured martyr into a symbol of light and hope, sanitized for cultural consumption. The self-mutilation is forgotten. Only candles and songs remain. Relics of St. Lucy are venerated in multiple locations. Her body is in Venice, but bone fragments, tissues, and supposedly her eyes are scattered across churches in Italy, France, Germany. Authenticity is questionable, but devotion is real. Pilgrims touch reliquaries, Pray for the healing of blindness. Give thanks for restored sight. There are reports of miracles. Blind people regaining sight after prayer to Lucy. Eye tumors disappearing. Degenerative diseases halting. The Church documents some as authentic miracles. Others remain anecdotal. But the pattern is clear. Lucy, who lost her eyes, is invoked to save the eyes of others. Historically, there is little contemporary evidence about Lucy beyond mention in ancient martyrologies, confirming that a virgin named Lucy was martyred in Syracuse in 304 AD. Details of her martyrdom, especially ocular self-mutilation, are later hagiographic additions. This does not mean they are false, but that they were constructed over centuries to serve theological and devotional purposes. The real Lucy was likely a young Christian, executed for refusing to sacrifice to the gods. The legendary Lucy is a complex construction of faith, art, and the cultural need for extreme symbols of sacrifice. The question of the eyes raises an ethical dilemma. Should we venerate self-mutilation? The modern church minimizes the graphic aspect, emphasizing Lucy's faith and courage, not the violence. But the iconography remains. Catholic children grow up seeing images of a saint holding eyes. Does this normalize, traumatize, inspire? It depends on context and interpretation. For some, it's a reminder that faith demands sacrifice. For others, it's a disturbing example of how religion can glorify self-destruction. Compared to other martyr saints, Lucy is unique for voluntary self-mutilation. Bartholomew was flayed by others. Lucy plucked out her own eyes. This places her in a special category of saints who performed part of their own martyrdom. There are parallels with Saint Origen, who castrated himself to avoid sexual temptation. But the Church condemned that act as extreme. Lucy, however, is venerated, not condemned. Why? Because eyes are not reproductive organs, so self-mutilation is seen as an acceptable sacrifice, not as a violation of the body, as a temple. The theological logic is subtle but important. Lucy also represents female resistance in a patriarchal society. She refused an arranged marriage, maintained a vow of virginity against family and social will, and distributed her own inheritance without male permission. She controlled her own body, her own destiny, even in death. Plucking out her eyes was an act of radical agency. If my body is an object of desire, I destroy it. No one else controls it. This resonates with feminists who see Lucy not as a passive victim, but as a woman who chose the terms of her own suffering. A controversial but valid interpretation. The cult of St. Lucy remains strong in Catholic communities, especially in Italy and Scandinavia. Annual processions, special masses, distribution of traditional breads called St. Lucy's Eyes. Devotion spans centuries because Lucy offers something other saints do not: protection of the most vulnerable sense, sight. Losing sight is a universal fear. Lucy, who lost and supposedly regained her eyes, is the perfect intercessor. She understands. She suffered worse. She can help. But there is modern discomfort with the veneration of self-mutilation. Contemporary society views self-harm as a symptom of psychological disorder, not a virtue. Lucy, if she lived today, would be hospitalized, treated, not canonized. This creates tension between traditional devotion and modern values. The Church navigates this carefully, emphasizing historical context, spiritual symbolism, without encouraging literal imitation. No one is taught to pluck out their eyes. But the image remains. disturbing and powerful. Saint Lucy, real or legendary, has become a symbol of extreme sacrifice, spiritual vision over physical, and female resistance. She holds eyes on a tray, offering what is most precious. This image, however disturbing, captures the essence of radical faith, a willingness to lose everything, even sight, for something greater. Whether you believe she truly plucked out her eyes or that the story is an allegory, the symbolic power remains. Lucy sees beyond what physical eyes can see, and she invites devotees to do the same. If this mystery has disturbed you, fascinated you, or made you question why the Church venerates self-mutilation, leave your comment below. Subscribe to the channel for more saints with disturbing stories and dark religious mysteries. Activate notifications so you don't miss our next cases. And if you know someone interested in these topics, please share this video. Thank you for watching.